To follow up what he said in the recent, very soon time, you'll be seeing him unleashing his policies. He's not talking about Akara and Agodo. No. He's talking about technically turning around the fortune of Nigerians. Now, when you go to school, you deserve to earn a living based on what you have learned. If it's technically, you have learned that. Not for you to reduce somebody who has gone to school to go to four corners of the university and all, you know, you turn him to a street beggar. Even if you are going to sell Akara or sell Agbado, it must be done in a unified manner that can bring in more money into the country. But not in this one conventional way. So we must talk, and this person that we're talking about has been able to generate a lot of interest of the Nigerian youth. They believe in him, strongly so. Even those who do not believe in him in the northern part of the has already started having the feeling that, look, this man has been able to account for every kobo that he has led a state. This man has been able to pay up the salaries and wages and even gratuity of pensions of workers that work under him. This man has been able to connect with the people, ensuring that their industries and all are working. This man has been able to talk about the educational system in his state, transforming his children of that particular state from 26th position to number 1. This same person has been able to secure the life and properties of his people. Who wouldn't want that person as a president? Go. 56 years ago, precisely, that was the last time we had this civil war. Okay? And the civil war has created a lot of division, distrust between the North and the South. And the last time we had a president from the Southern extraction was 60 years ago. And with Nnamdi Azikiwe and Aguiyi-Ironsi and a lot of... These are people who also are Nigerians. But we've never thought of all about the pain or pang that they are feeling too. And by bringing in somebody from their extraction and believing in him, it gives them hope and trust. And at the end of it all, unite the country. His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, does not even tout tribal line. He touts unity based on competence and capacity, which he has. And I want to say this clearly. Time immemorial, where Nigeria has suffered this particular issue of divide and rule between the North and the South, especially in the case of MKO Abiola. Remember when we lost him to a tragic situation and all? The North also came in and sacrificed their interests and bringing in President Olusegun Obasanjo. So this is another time to bring in a Peter Obi to unite the country. This is the sacrifice that the North has always been doing. So, and this is the best time to also exemplify it and make it happen. In fact, to tell you the truth, one of the basic reasons for me joining this particular campaign, even long before His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi become a presidential candidate in any of the party, I have been championing this particular cause. And I give a fact. Go and check my statement at the Women's Center in Oka. I spoke. Senator Ben Obi was there, and the former president of Wanize was there, and Alhaji Balarabe Musa, may his soul rest in perfect peace, supported this particular idea. He was our leader. And what we are thinking is that the country first, not any individual, not any group. So we were actually amplifying this cause to say, okay, we need a country that is united. Not when you have to travel to the North, you have to be scared of whether you have to wear a jalabia or not. No, we're talking about when you go, wear in the Ashagu, your own native land, dress, so that people in the North can see it and admire it and say, yes, I like this. Can I also get a copy of it? The same thing too from the northern part coming to the south. But now everybody is scared. Everybody is scared because the deficit of trust. And because of that, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi did something that is very phenomenal. What did he do? He made sure he picked Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso as his deputy. And I thank God, and which I appreciate that Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso also agreed to serve as a vice. That is the kind of sacrifice we are looking for. And it has already been exemplified. So because you want the northern people to have trust, because if you like, whether you like it or not, Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso has been a crusader in defending the interests of the northern part. So if any northerner want to have confidence in this particular joint ticket, he must have trust in Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. And that is unity.
Well, I mean, Peter Obi says these things. I mean, you made a very interesting point about Olusegun Obasanjo. When Obasanjo came in, Obasanjo had many, many years of, I mean, he'd been a military head of state. He was a big democracy advocate because he handed over to civilians. He'd been talking consistently without running for office or having any presidential ambition and being seen as somebody who, you know, was making promises on the base. He just was that kind of person. And so he had been that way for so long that he was able to engender trust and was a unifying figure in the sense that here we were coming off military rule, but he was a former military person himself. But here we were heading towards democracy, and he was a military person who handed over to civilians. So in that sense, he represented so much. He personified so much. So he really didn't have to do that much. And of course, when he became president, I mean, he exemplified that in the way he appointed the cabinet and reflected this broad church across Nigeria. People will ask questions, though, about how Peter Obi intends to do this, because Peter Obi has always been more of a regional character than a national one. I mean, he was a regional governor, a state governor and all the rest of it. How exactly does he intend to build trust among regions and communities that increasingly, as you correctly pointed out, distrust one another?
Because, like, for example, he's a kind of a practical person. I just gave you a practical example in order to get the trust of the North in particular. And he did that. But not only that, because he also knows that Nigeria-Tanko runs a populist agenda, meaning that he is interested in education, technical work of training the children, transforming their lives from poverty to prosperity and all of that. So their ideology meets together. So in the case of his practical situation, as what he has done, because this, when you are touting the idea of unity, it's not something that you say. You must have practicalized it one way or the other. Today, the ADC to His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is alive. He's a man from Kano State. He was his ADC. So when you're looking for trust, the first person that you trust is a man behind you with a gun. And he's a northerner. And he's still living alive. So you see, practically he has exemplified it. In terms of trust, I am one of his aides. I'm from North, I'm from Kano State. I speak on his behalf. Sometimes even if I speak, he doesn't query me. You understand what I'm saying? So that is another enormous trust. One of the biggest organizations in Nigeria today, you can say, is the Obedient Movement. And I am heading it, or I'm coordinating it, where he is the leader. That is enormous trust. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. There's Malik Ibrahim, there's Malik Ibrahim at the point in time. There's a lot of us who
but a lot of people would argue that that's not necessary. I mean, if you go to the APC, if you go to Atiku Abubakar's camp, I mean, they've all got people from different ethnicities who are close to them. I mean, Atiku's spokesman, Paul Ibe, is from the southeast.
Yes,
I mean, you've got people from, different persuasions. Atiku, the President Tinubu has people from different parts of the country and so on. Exactly. So that's not necessarily an example of the fact that this is how you're going to kind of unite the country.
One of the major problems that we have in this country is trust. If you can't trust your aide, you can't trust the people that work with you, then you have a problem. That's true. We can argue with that. Right. So, but then the fact is that when you say practical example, I just gave you one. And I also said what he extended as regard to what he intends to do by working together with Engineer Rabi Musa Ponkosu. The first thing that he is interested in is agriculture. I've mentioned it. And he's also talking about technical work that's going to transform the children. And he's also talking about, also talked about education, pulling people from about 20 million out of school children back into the educational line. Yeah. Apart from that,
that's what every government says.
But then you have to give an opportunity for somebody to practicalize what he has done over in his own state. Well, he had done it in states.
Well, let me ask you this, just on that same theme of national reconciliation. Would a Peter Obi administration be prepared to devolve more powers to the states, restructure aspects of the federation, pursue constitutional reforms as part of this national reconciliation?
To follow up what he said in the recent very soon time, you'll be seeing him unleashing his policies. He's not talking about Akara and Agbodo. No. He's talking about technically turning around the fortune of Nigerians. That when you go to school, you deserve to earn a living based on what you have learned. If it's technically you have learned that, not for you to reduce somebody who has gone to school to go to 4 corners of the university and or you return him to a street beggar. Even if you are going to sell Akara or sell Agbado, it must be done in a unified manner that can bring in more money into the country. But not in this one conventional way. So we must talk, and this person that we're talking about has been able to generate a lot of interest of the Nigerian youth. They believe in him, strongly so. Even those who do not believe in him in the northern part of the has already started having the feeling that, look, this man has been able to account for every kobo that he has led a state. This man has been able to pay up the salaries and wages and even gratuity of pensions of workers that work under him. This man has been able to connect with the people, ensuring that their industries and all are working. This man has been able to talk about the educational system in his state, transforming his children, the children of that particular state from 26th position to number 1. This same person has been able to secure the life and properties of his people. Who wouldn't want that person as a president?
Well, Peter Obi wants to expand technical and vocational education. I mean, that's part of what you were saying in that statement that was released along the German model.
Yes.
Germany's apprenticeship system is supported by a highly industrialized economy. Nigeria doesn't yet have that industrial.
That is why he's been talking about
Nigeria doesn't have that industrial base. What comes first, the skilled workers or the industries that will employ them?
Do you want even an industry exam when you don't have the workers? The workers first, of course. You must train them before you can even have the industry. Because if you don't have a workforce, you may be importing workforce from another country and that will not develop your economy. So the first thing is that's why majority of us go to school, don't we? We want to learn exactly how we are going to turn around A, B, C, D. So when you say technical school, it's very fundamental. When you teach them how to be technically indulged, it helps to build the country, the kind of production company that will go in line with what they have studied. But when you have a volume of industry and then you have no workers, what do you expect? A total collapse of the production.
So
Like this, shall never end. Yes, so it's always a privilege listen to Peter P. spokesperson, Nigeria-Tanko. Understand? So, according to him, say Peter vision is to unite Nigeria. Yes, that is the fact. Peter Obi want the betterment of this country. You understand? He want Nigeria. You understand? To unite together. You understand? In the aspect of progressing, as in he want to make this country as in may liberate. You understand? As he may foreign investors come invest for this country. You understand? That would be another vision. Well, the question I want to ask this man with this Charles. This man, they always do what we're not the like Charles, this presenter. I like the guy, I like the man they do, but sometimes the kind of question with this man they ask. You understand? If they interview all those APC people, they ask them how they want to transform Nigeria. They ask them how they want to transform Nigeria. But anything concerning people, this man they always have question. They always have one question repeatedly. Always. Well, I know my thought too much. I don't listen to Tanko as he explained to us. You understand? So Peter P. come 27. Nobody go to come. We mad.